production ownership. Everyone wants control until something breaks. Then suddenly it's the dev's fault, or the SREs, or maybe the intern who touched Jenkins last year. In this episode of The Architect's Lens, we untangle the great mystery of who actually owns production, and why the real answer might just be not it.
Hello. Hi, Savi.
Hey, Nenad.
Today is your day for the intro.
Oh, today's my day? All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't mind.
I tried to see if it will, go.
No, of course. All right. Okay, so let's do this. So today we are talking about a very interesting topic. Mm-hmm. Now, imagine the buzzer, the email goes out at 3 a.m. Something happened in production, right? What happens after that? One guy gets the page, he pings another guy, everybody starts scrambling. Who really owns production? Is it the DevOps team? Is it the SRE team? Is it the developers? Is it the product owners? Mm-hmm. Is it everybody? Sorry.
Is it nobody?
My production glitch. Or is it nobody? Because when it's everybody, it's actually nobody.
Yeah. But first question is, Savi, what happened? Why this topic? What did go wrong?
Oh, what or when? When all did it go wrong?
When all did
it last go wrong?
Now, what brought on this topic? Did something go wrong in production?
No, just some old hurts. They got scratched again.
Yeah, old wounds.
Wounds, yeah.
We've been there, yeah. The 3 a.m. calls that nothing is working, yeah. Or the guy from the management board tried to use the app at 3 a.m. and it didn't work.
Yeah.
In my case, it was card payments as we were building, operating, monitoring card payment systems, right?
Okay.
So if a card transaction didn't go through for a board member, then, all hands on deck.
Yeah.
The usual.
Yeah.
So one part of your intro, one kind of statement rang, right? You asked, so things go south, right? You get that 3 a.m. call. Mm-hmm. What then? Who owns production or fix, basically?
Yeah.
And so my question is, who owns it before that, right? Before the critical event, in terms of who is the one that needs to own the, let's say, reliability of the system before shit hits the fan.
Yeah. It's a fair question. Yeah. And I think we need to backtrack a little bit and say how this was traditionally done.
Okay.
Right? Because I think somewhere what we have done is we have sort of dissolved the responsibilities.
Yes.
And instead of that one guy, that one team, now it is everybody, but not really anybody.
Yeah.
So all 20 people will jump on the call and then start discussing.
Yeah.
Until there is one guy who will say, hey, let me log in, let me look at the logs, let me figure out what happened. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, but now we're kind of doing the discussion on who is that guy that should look at the logs, right?
That's what I'm saying. Earlier, that was that one guy who was responsible for production, the ops team, prod team, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah.
Now they say it's everybody's problem, but it's nobody. So everybody comes together on a call. Yeah. They start discussing 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
Until one guy who's really hurting and who knows the shit says, guys, hang on. Let me actually look at what happened.
Yeah,
Let's start from there.
Is the problem? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know.
And that could be anybody. It's got nothing to do with role. That's an attitude thing.
Yeah, that's the ownership thing, right?
Exactly.
Ownership attitude, right?
Yep.
So, how did it work before? You mentioned, ops teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, initially we had, let's call it, clear separation of concerns.
Correct.
So, why change?
Yeah, because somebody said we are not working. You shouldn't throw stuff over the wall. You should all work together. Somebody's brilliant idea.
So, in your opinion, were the reasons valid?
So, see, that also had some issues in the sense because it was so tightly discoupled, right? The operations guy had no idea what was coming into production. Yes. And that used to cause a lot of friction. Yeah. That, hey, you're expecting to put this service in production. You didn't tell me it needs a version upgrade. You didn't tell me it needs a new component. Yeah. Or your instructions are crappy. You're saying it works, but you didn't write these 3 lines. How am I supposed to know that I'm supposed to do this? So all of that used to happen.
Yeah, and also I would say that when you had ops teams or team, they were handling, production on many different systems, right?
Correct.
And they granted had maybe a list of what are critical systems, right? So you should fix those first.
Yep.
But they would actually, or if it's some kind of, critical disruption of service, nothing works, then we need to, right? So those are different levels, let's say. But other than that, you would have just kind of requests coming in.
Correct.
Whether it's deploy these new things, fix this old thing, right? And they would need to prioritize. They would need to, then you were, as a product team, you were on a waiting list. So
it was a service model, right?
Yeah,
it's a team and you're in a queue, you service it.
Yeah, so you need to, bribe a guy buying beer or
you need to know the guy. That's it.
Yeah, you need to know a guy. Yeah, and it's kind of trading with whatever you have to kind of move you up the list, right?
Yeah.
So somebody says, guys, this will not work anymore, right?
Yeah.
And usually, like, even the product teams were, just give me that, that server or whatever, access, in my room, and I'll, babysit because I need this and I know this and whatever, right? And that was not going to happen, right? Not in this silo mode.
Yeah, the other component to that was, along this time, the tooling also improved. It went much better. It got standardized. So in the early 2000s, we were doing home written batch scripts or, shell scripts, 5,000, 10,000 lines. Only those two dudes understood what is written. If something broke, we had to break our heads and say, why the hell is this not working?
Yeah.
And then that got matured into a professional looking CI/CD system. The Jenkins came along. The source control got better. Everything got better. So then you didn't need that level of hugely deep expertise to be able to run this.
Okay.
Right. So for example, at one point, I used to be a clear case administrator.
Okay.
Right. Making sure source code was synced across 6 locations. With GitHub and other modern systems, not even GitHub at that point, but with other SVN and things like that, that need disappeared.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that also contributed to it.
Yeah. So tooling got better.
Yeah.
And that meant that we don't no longer needed like high-end experts to be, it needed less effort to put something in production and to
Correct.
maybe even maintain it, right?
Or lesser number of people with expertise in multiple things could do it.
Yeah.
Earlier, you need one clear case expert, one of this, one of that. And then
Yeah.
it came down to, okay, one person can manage all of this because it's not that
Yeah.
manual intensive. It's not that critical.
So I would say that then that brought about the concept, you build it, you run it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now you had the tools.
Correct.
So you go ahead, you've built it, here are the tools, you run it, and it's up to you what will happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is also not a perfect, right?
No.
Because I would say roles have shifted and the responsibilities blurred
Blurred.
across,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how is that an improvement? At which parts it is and at which parts it isn't?
So it depends on the maturity of the organization, because I have seen organizations where it works seamlessly, where
Mm-hmm.
there is no distinction, and a part of the developers or the development team, and when I say development team, it could be any role in that team, right? I'm
Yeah,
talking about a development squad.
yeah,
So folks there rotate responsibility of keeping an eye on production and fixing it,
yeah,
right? So, and it is so seamless that there is no, not my problem, can I do this, can you do that? It works clockwork. I've seen that as well, but that's very few organizations, because the processes, the tooling, the maturity
yeah,
of the people, everything matters, and
yeah.
very few get that right.
So again, we're saying it's not only technology; it's culture /
it
mindset.
it never is technology. It never is.
We should be like a psychology podcast or sociology podcast, right?
We're getting there. Give
We're
it
getting
20 more episodes. I don't know where this is going.
Okay, so what are the now common problems that are happening, right, in those kind of setups? I'm assuming that we're seeing less and less of this siloed organization, and more of this having independent teams that can build it and running up to a certain degree, right?
Yeah. So we didn't stop there, right? Then we started complicating it even further. Then we said, hey,
Blurring the lines even
yeah,
more.
let's take an eraser and rub the whole thing out then. Then we said, hey, why stop at this new team which we have called DevOps? Why
Yeah,
stop there? Let's create something called SRE, site reliability.
yeah.
And then some people said, but I don't run a website. What the heck is this? And they said, okay, you can call it service reliability. Same thing. But you need a separate set of people which have a separate set of skills, and they will do this.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, hey, we've got too many tools and technologies. Nobody understands this. Let's create a platform team. So we kept blurring it, kept pushing it. And that's
Yeah.
where we are.
So then what is the, let's call it, best practice setup today
Uh,
of a team? Is there such a thing?
I wish there
No.
was.
I see I opened the wound.
No, don't go there. Don't. And there cannot be, in all fairness, because
Okay.
because no two apples are the same.
Yes. Yeah. And one thing, like, which kind of is becoming, my pet peeve, and this is in a line to what, no, I texted you earlier, right? roles, meaning names or titles, and responsibilities, right? Which I would even say capabilities. And there is so many roles, titles, and their meaning is like, in the eyes of the beholder. It can mean
absolutely.
practically anything, right? From architecture and architects, right? Developers, tech leads, DevOps, SREs, cloud architects, cloud engineers. What is it? What is a cloud engineer? What is a cloud architect? And how does SRE and DevOps guy fit into what do they need to do? What is a native cloud developer in that story? What is, who does what, right?
So I'll give you a very simple example, right? So many, many years back, people used to be called system administrators.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They administered the systems. Made sense, right? And then...
I would just also, back in that day, your system was considered, there in that room is a server. It's a box. It has some stuff running on it. This is your system. You're administering that, right?
Exactly. And
it had a scope. The limit was the box.
I will go even further. That is the time when we used to have data centers within the office, and we used to say, "This is my rack." We used to have put stickers on that, name it, take care of it like a kid. This is my baby. That's how far it went. So good times. And then, as things started changing, the same organization, nothing else changed, but they said, hey, from tomorrow, we are going to call you SRE. Why? Because you'll feel better. Nothing has changed. Congratulations, you're an SRE now. And then he said, okay, what's my career path? They said, if you do well, you'll become a platform engineer.
Ooh,
sexy. What do I do? Same thing. So at a lot of places, it became that. Just a title change, a role change, a gimmick to hold people back. That's what it was reduced to as well.
It was a kind of a promotion. But again, from, my understanding, so like I would say DevOps culture. I don't know if could you call a guy a DevOps guy? Like you had a system administrator, for instance, right? Or the infrastructure engineer, and then DevOps came in, and there you had automated deployments of operating systems. You had your Terraforms, you had Jenkins, and whatever. Was that a DevOps guy, or he was still a system administrator? Is that a DevOps is not a role name, right? It's kind of a...
Well, I have a different opinion on that. It has been a role for a while.
Okay.
Should
but
it
what?
be?
It was DevOps engineer. That was
DevOps engineer. Yes. That has been a role. Right? And at one point in the early 2000s, my official designation was build jockey. So I've seen that as well.
Okay.
From there, a DevOps engineer sounds more sophisticated, so I took that.
Okay, but still, I would say the boundary, right, between development and putting that code into a running environment, that was DevOps engineer responsibility, right?
Yes.
And
including at some places the infrastructure as well.
Yeah. Okay. Especially if it was operated by Terraform or whatever, and then you would kind of own.
Not even that. Even if it's VMware, then you could use an Ansible or something virtualized, right? Still.
Okay. And the SRE, to my understanding, is blurring this boundary between what is a DevOps engineer
Correct.
and the developer, right? Uh, so, how does that work in practice?
Yeah, so SRE is blurring between DevOps engineer. Okay, so one simple way to understand this is if you draw a line of production,
Yeah.
typically the DevOps guy would be this side and the SRE would be the other side.
And on which side is the production?
Production is with SRE.
Okay.
So the DevOps guy deploys to production and the SRE renamed as operation support or whatever you call it.
Okay.
I would say, think of SRE as an evolved form of the production support people.
Okay.
And hear me out why I say that. It's very controversial. A lot of people get upset when I say that. But give me
This will
30
be then a
seconds
good
more.
soundbite. Okay.
Yeah. So that's because the role of the production support guy was to make sure production was up and running. Right?
Mhm.
And was fairly manual process. Right? Keep an eye on this, keep an eye on this. If something happens, do this, do that. Now, if you advance that and put in newer technology and newer ways of working, and if you change the skill of that person from pure debugger and the person who had what I call the wisdom of production, if you add a bit of software engineering skill to that person who can automate things, who can start thinking about preventing things rather than reactive, that makes the person an SRE.
Okay.
Right? So the responsibility still remains ensuring reliability of the stuff which is in production. But the way you do it earlier was more reactive. And SRE,
Are proactive.
as per the Google guys who created this, you're supposed to have a 70-30, 80-20 split on day-to-day firefighting versus doing something to mature your setup in terms of pure
Okay.
development activity.
Okay. But I think that now I am more confused than 30 seconds ago.
Thank you.
So who is then, right? If I my team build a app, right? And we want to first test it. We need a test environment. We need some kind of integration test environment. Then we want a production environment, right? To whom do I speak? The DevOps guy or the SRE? Or I need to have them.
No, that's what I said. Very simply, if you want to think of it, anything happening post-production, production and post-production SRE, anything till putting the product in production and lower environments, DevOps.
Okay.
That's a simple way to think about it.
Doesn't DevOps also manage production? Because now I'm turning in this.
No, exactly. That's why I said this is a very simple way of thinking about it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are organizations which don't have SRE where the DevOps guy itself manages production. Of course. So both exist today.
Okay.
Right? You can also argue that an SRE is actually creating that boundary again, which was supposed to be destroyed. You can argue that way also.
Okay, so to widen the story, right? So one thing is that we care, right? In this conversation is that our production, our product and app is stable, reliable, works perfectly, it's functional as well, has a good user experience, etc. Right? Which is kind of related to availability, responsiveness, resilience, all the architectural ilities, as they say, right? So, and this, of course, starts with the whomever is running the product, being a product owner, who needs to have this awareness, not to say ownership. I need to invest not only in feature development, I need to invest in technical depth, in fixing bugs, in fixing performance and reliability issues, right? So he's also part owning, right? Because
correct.
Okay, so that means that again everybody owns and nobody owns, right?
But the ownership, the remit of ownership is different. So, for example, if you take this case, right, as a product owner, I need to define what is the availability I want for my system. Yeah. Is it 99%? Is it 99.99? Because every 9 you add to the damn thing is going to cost you.
Yeah.
Right? It's not free. Because it means that level of tooling, that level of people, that expertise, everything.
And the time,
And the time, of course.
Yeah.
Right? So the ownership impetus is different for different people. So you got to decide, this is the level of resilience I want. This is the throughput I want. I want this to have so little latency.
Yeah.
So then you define, okay, what does that mean? What zones am I using?
Yeah.
Right? So it goes down to architecture then.
Yeah, which will define, hopefully, effectively the landscape of the solution. Okay, and now, of course, the business value is in the features. So now the developers are building features. What is their responsibility in terms of owning production resilience, so to speak?
Fair.
What is their game?
Yeah, so the traditional thought has been, I've built this shit, works on my machine. Here are the 3 steps to do it. Go figure.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah, that was good old days, right? Now we're saying, hey guys, you built it. That's great. Have you taken care of dependencies? Have you taken care of the setup in production is much different than staging, then on your laptop? Have you thought of all that through? Don't just give us English steps because nobody's reading it and executing it. It is coming from a continuous deployment system. It is coming from Helm charts. It is coming from configurations. Are you maintaining all of that? And because you have done all of that, when something breaks in production, you know what you have done. You're responsible for it because you wrote the thing. Now, please be involved in fixing that as well.
And you said you're saying that for developers or DevOps?
For developers, developer.
But are they in charge of the Helm charts? Just asking for a friend.
I like this friend of yours, very cheeky fellow. Okay, I'll answer it differently. I know where this is going. So I have seen organizations where a DevOps team or a platform team, whatever we call it, they are responsible for defining or they with the developer are responsible for defining the setup of the Helm chart. What are we putting in Helm? How are we maintaining it? What is the Helm chart for each of these environments? They're responsible for that. Right? The actual value in that, the DevOps guy would be responsible because he's maintaining those environments.
Yeah. Okay, fully understand now.
Cool.
Where did we left off? Okay, now you have now you have your Helm charts. Okay,
some configurations.
Yeah, some configurations, and you built the app, the charts, the configure everything, and now it's a handoff time, right?
Correct.
Meaning some kind of pipeline would run on top of all of that, and poof, everything works.
Yeah, I want to pause there. This poof thing which you just did, that's where the magic is.
It usually is, yeah.
Because this poof should actually happen from a tool, right? Which says, this is how you deploy it in the lower environment. You scale this up a little bit, that becomes your staging. You scale this up a whole lot more, that becomes production. The deployment algorithm remains the same. The scale will change. A couple of steps additional will happen in production, which will not happen in staging or lower environments. But essentially, the way you deploy, about 70-80% should remain the same.
Okay. And how do we know that it works and behaves in accordance to architectural guidelines or the service level objectives defined by the product owner in terms of latency? Even though I never saw a product owner that defined
Talk about latency.
talk about latency, response times, throughput.
Yeah.
But let's say that we do have those,
There are a couple of them, let's say.
Okay, yeah. So we have those, and we need to actually know how our system is now behaving.
Correct.
After the poof, what happens?
So ideally, you should have a good sense of it before the poof as well. Because this is not sounding right.
Yeah, it actually is, but I know what you mean.
So in your staging environment, which is, if correctly built, it is a slightly scaled down version of production. You should be able to say, I'm getting latency which is 80% acceptable to me. So if it works here, by logical deduction, it should work in production. You should get that level of confidence. Won't be 100%, but your confidence should increase basis of the testing that you do in the staging environment. That's the purpose of it, right?
Yeah, correct. So my kind of lead was that I need to be able to measure the behavior of my system, of my app.
Right.
And I also need to be alerted if something goes wrong. I need to have somebody who will react to the alerts, right? This is, of course, post-festum, as they say. But I need all of that, right? So that I can measure if my app is behaving, if my system is behaving as it should by the whatever KPIs, SLOs, whatever. Who owns that? Who sets this up? So it's not a development per se in terms of, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So let's take the simple approach first. Let's define all of this for production.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Because that's where the real measurement is.
Yeah.
And why I said that is because you always start with production because that's what matters most.
Yeah.
But then ideally, you should also replicate that in the lower environment.
Yes. At least you should be able to measure it, right?
So you should be able to measure. Yeah. Then you won't be surprised. But there are very few who actually do it. Because of the cost involved, because of the effort involved, because of the coordination involved. So they say, okay, let's get production right at least, and then we'll worry about the lower environments later.
Yeah. To be, conscious of time, I have a lot of questions now. Of course. All of them popping out, right? So as the systems kind of grow in complexity, right? And you have different couplings or integrations that if I push one feature to one app, it could crash another system.
Yeah.
Right. So is there a empowerment of that? Would be probably the SREs who are production responsible that would say, no, this thing cannot go to production because we found in, I don't know. Are they the guys that can see, okay, the integration tests are showing that you are DDoSing an app. So this, we cannot push this to production. Who is that guy that will say, that will be a kind of a guardrail?
So you're saying because of something which I found in the lower environments, I raise a flag saying, guys, if I put this in production, this thing is going to break. Don't do that. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the SRE or the DevOps, they are responsible for flagging it up.
Okay.
Saying
but they
that
should...
they, in most organizations, the decision still belongs to the product owner or the release manager if you have one.
Yeah, but imagine that you have two products, so two systems, right? And system A is going to production this new feature, and they're running tests and integration tests, and they are suffocating the B system because and the B has a different product owner that is actually unaware that this is happening, right? And the A team will say, "Oh, it works. Who cares about the B stuff? Let's go, right? Let's move into production." And maybe they don't look at the metrics or whatever of the B system, how it affects the response times of that system, latency, right? So who manages the whole? So SRE or because those are lower environments, right? So
correct.
Okay.
So I'll give you the realistic example and I'll give you the idealistic answer. Yeah. So the realistic answer is these guys are supposed to flag. First, you're supposed to catch this in an integration or a staging environment. That component A is blocking, choking B, so there is an issue. A lot of the times it is not caught. Reason? Because environments are out of sync. You've not deployed in your lower environment what is there in production. Somebody goes and manually tweaks stuff. They're out of sync, so it's tough to catch it there. Ideally should be caught there. Now the second thing, once it is caught, then it is the SRE DevOps guys' responsibility to flag it and say, guys, if you put this is gonna break. But what happens in reality is product owners have their own agendas. They push for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And these are conflicting agendas as well because it's timelines, it's pressure. So the A guy doesn't talk to B guy and say, hey, let me push this. I'll make sure this is taken care of in 24 hours. It doesn't really happen. It should happen in a fair world. But things get pushed to production. And then, the cycle repeats again. That's the reality of it.
You need to push the production before the delivery date, right? Before the management said it should go live.
Correct.
But if you put it down day after, nobody will care. You have really... you made your milestone. It was live for 24 hours. Then we had to put it down. Then it's production issue.
Developers Roger did something happened. You can blame it on 10 other people. It's fine.
So how is that? So we see that it's really, I would say, a mess, right? In terms of if it's a really complex organization, multiple system, it can get pretty messy pretty fast, right? How do you manage that? How do you set what's the key principle or an idea or what should you aim for? Is it siloing? Because if we're, how we're speaking about it is that, again, we're kind of vertically slicing the delivery roadmap from ideation to putting it in the hands of a user through deployment. And we have the SREs on production side, DevOps kind of trying to set it up to be runnable, and development teams to build in the functionality and hopefully not DDoS another system, right? But it still feels silos, right? And we don't have the capability across the team or within the team, right? Or am I wrong?
No, so see, that is the goal. That is what all of this is about. Right? That your team should be capable of building it, testing it, deploying it, maintaining it. That's the philosophy of it.
Yeah.
Right? But then life is not that simple in a complex enterprise. And that's why you and me have to launch a podcast to discuss this, right?
Yeah. So what you're actually saying after 40 minutes, we don't have an answer to who is actually owning production. Partly, we can say that everyone is responsible. Question is who is accountable. And do you know how do you find who is accountable? No. At 3 a.m. the call, right? If it's management calling, the guy who management calls. The guy who management calls because they see him as
the guy who will fix it. Yeah. That's what I said, right? The guy. So I've seen this multiple times, right? There is a P1 issue. There are 20 guys on the call, and they're all discussing mambo jumbo, all 10,000 feet. Until one guy says, guys, give me 5 minutes. Let me figure out. And this is where we should be looking. This is what has gone wrong.
Yeah, but that also means, and that there is, so this ownership is not something that is, let's say, kind of visible in the organization chart, right? You don't have, and therefore nobody feels that they own or are accountable for like production issues, right? Because
that's what I said, right? It's the maturity of the organization, of the people, of the team, of the tooling. It's not such a simple answer because in an ideal world, everybody's responsible for keeping the country clean, but it doesn't.
It doesn't happen. So what open questions do we have for next time? I mean, the same one we started with, right? As always. Okay. But what I kind of found out again through experience is true. It's always kind of you end up talking about culture or mindset or those individuals that will be proactive and try to take matter into their own hands, right? And on one side they're kind of hurting the ownership issue because it doesn't get sorted out, right? And it was the discussion back in the day, or still, the empowerment. So the product owner, is it he empowered to make those kind of decisions? Are the SREs, developers, DevOps guys? So it is the organizational issue.
Yes.
Right. The accountability and the ownership of the entire end-to-end, I don't know, value chain or whatever.
SDLC or whatever.
SDLC, and this is, it's much, of course, more difficult in complex organizations. And what are the basic principles? Again, as always, clear communication by everyone, all in the chain, from the product owners who never strictly define like service level objectives. What is it? What is responsiveness for them? And then you trickle down to, from architecture to setting up the environments. Are they out of sync? Are they in sync? What is the, I don't know, data load difference between so there are many components, right? How to configure monitoring and alerting so that you don't get 200 alerts per second. Because then you will not care, right?
Then you'll ignore everything.
You'll ignore everything and you'll not get the one you should care about. So there are many components that kind of you need to think about. defining that in an organization will definitely depend on how well resourced they are and the maturity. And this goes into roles and responsibilities as well. If I have a dedicated DevOps team, if I have a dedicated SRE team, then I should define the responsibility and the domain, what they're supposed to do. If I have a guy that I say is a solution architect, but he also is a developer, like a senior developer, and also, writes his own Helm charts and fixes the production issues, then it's a different kind of solution architect.
Then you take care of that guy. That's all you can do. And make sure he's insured well. That's all.
But that's usually how the organizations grow, right? From having that kind of guys and having then a problem, how to offload the know-how and the knowledge from that one guy when the time comes, right? I think that this was an insightful session, at least for me. I am more confused than ever. Sure. I had a lovely time.
Thank you.
Our listeners as well. Yeah.
I'm happy I could help you and your friend both.
Yeah, you didn't, but never mind.
We'll see them in the next podcast then.
Yeah. I see that those Helm charts will not solve themselves. So
they're not.
Okay, Savi, thank you again for our session. I think it was a rather interesting discussion.
Yeah.
And I'm already waiting for the next one.
Same here.
Savi,
I'll see you guys later.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.